Sometimes when you're at the beach, you'll see a kid building a sandcastle, maybe with their dad, and they might do a really nice job. Sometimes you'll see people do really cool sandcastles. But if it's a kid, what will happen is the kid will build the sandcastle, and then they're protective of the sandcastle, and they want that sandcastle to be there, and they see the waves coming in and starting to dissolve their sandcastle, and they get all upset and they get all hyper because they didn't realize they were building a sandcastle. They thought they were building something that was permanent, and it was just a sandcastle. You know, grown-ups do the exact same thing. The book of Ecclesiastes is one of the most honest books in the Bible. It starts with a perspective that's a little different than is even right. The perspective is, what if God doesn't care? What if God doesn't engage in any way in our lives? What if God is just a passive observer to our lives? And then it goes through various things, looking to find meaning and value in life if God doesn't actively intervene in life. And in Ecclesiastes chapter 2, it's one of the experiments that the guy who wrote Ecclesiastes, mental experiments that he did. He says, I undertook great projects, and I built houses for myself, and I planted vineyards. And it goes on to talk about how amazing the stuff he did was, how great the houses were, how much power he accumulated. And then it said, yet when I surveyed all that my hands had done and what I had toiled to achieve, everything was meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Nothing was gained under the sun. Nothing was gained. And while we're not silly enough to think our sandcastles should last, a lot of times we think the other things that we build under the sun, that we build on this earth, the things we accumulate, the power that we acquire, even if we're not rich, we still think the stuff we get is a big deal. But none of it lasts. On an eternal scale, everything you ever accomplish on life that is apart from God is just a sandcastle. But everything you accomplish with God, everything you accomplish for God, every life that you impact, every person whose life you change, that's permanent. So, right now, are you focusing most of your emotional energy building sandcastles or things that will last for God? That's our question of the day, and that's today's Jumpstart.